Welcome to Xiao Voice. Continuing from the previous episode 187. The atmosphere within the courtyard stiffened at this moment. A gentle breeze blew over, but it was unable to resolve the tense atmosphere. In front of the blood-red jade token in Ling Quan's hands, even the two black-clothed elders did not dare do anything. This blood jade token possessed an extremely powerful deterrence within the Gu clan. Even the two of them did not dare to easily ignore it. Xiao Yan's eyes turned to Ling Quan. Immediately, they paused on his dense face. A chill slowly surged within Xiao Yan's dark black eyes. Xuan'er's eyes paused on the blood-colored jade token in Ling Quan's hands for an instant. Her face had also become very dangerous. She did not expect this fellow to be in possession of the blood jade token. Ling Quan, leave with me now, and I can treat it as though nothing has happened. Xuan'er inhaled a gentle breath of air. Her bright eyes stared at Ling Quan as she slowly spoke. The corner of Ling Quan's mouth slightly trembled. A moment later, he slowly shook his head. The more Xuan'er acted like this, the greater the intensity of the killing intent in his heart was. Young miss, this is an order from the elders. I have no right not to obey it. Xuan'er's expression gradually calmed down in the face of the words from Ling Quan. She softly said, "All right, I will remember this." Ling Quan's face slightly changed when he heard Xuan'er's soft tone. In his heart, he knew that he had really angered Xuan'er this time around. It is all because of this little trash from the Xiao clan. Even if I have to take the risk of offending young miss today, I will ensure that I give this trash a memory that he will have difficulty forgetting. Ling Quan's expression became scarier. His wild beast-like eyes bore into Xiao Yan. After which, the hand he used to hold the blood jade token slowly tightened and a slight cracking sound appeared. Are you going to follow me or should I remove you by force? A hoarse, cold voice was slowly emitted from Ling Quan's mouth. Xiao Yan's eyes looked at Ling Quan. The corner of his mouth was finally lifted into a dense, cold arc. This fellow had successfully roused the killing intent within his heart. Do you really think that this is still the same as back then? Ling Qian laughed in his extreme anger when he heard these words from Xiao Yan. He said, "All right, it looks like you refuse to return with me to the Gu clan, right?" Xiao Yan smiled as he nodded. How could he not know that Ling Quan was trying to find an excuse to attack him? However, how would the other party know that he was also adopting such a mentality? Given the grudges from back then, would he not appear a little useless if he simply allowed Ling Quan to leave like this? Moreover, the current Xiao Yan really wished to let the commander of the Black Submerged Army know that even though he could easily take Xuan'er away from him back then, this commander lost the qualification to do so now if Xiao Yan did not allow it to happen. Ling Quan also smiled when he saw the grin on Xiao Yan's face. The dense, cold killing intent within his smile could be sensed by even a blind person. Today, this commander will let you know that regardless of how you jump, you are but an ant in the eyes of the Gu clan. Do you really think that your clan, which does not even possess the qualification to step into the Central Plains, is that Xiao clan from back then? Ling Quan slowly stepped forward. A vast and might aura surged out of his body like a volcano, sweeping over the sky. If you take another step forward, death. A soft and gentle voice suddenly sounded. At the same time, a white-colored, elegant figure appeared in front of Xiao Yan. Gray air was slowly rising from the little fairy doctor's body. Ling Quan's eyes slightly narrowed when he saw little fairy doctor appearing. With his ability, he was naturally able to sense the little fairy doctor's frightening strength. Are you going to rely on a woman? Back then, you relied on Su Qian from the Inner Academy. This time around, you rely on a woman to step forward. When will you rely on yourself? If that ancestor of yours came to be aware of this in the underworld, it is likely that he wouldn't be able to rest in peace, no? Ling Quan's eyes turned to Xiao Yan. His voice was filled with ridicule and disdain. Firstly, as long as it is a strength that one can command, it is a strength that belongs to oneself. Naive words like relying on other people will only end up causing others to laugh at you. If you did not rely on the name of the Gu clan, what are you with your strength as a 5-star Do Zong? Xiao Yan faintly curled his lips. His smile was becoming bone-chillingly cold. Secondly, you do not have the qualification to mention the ancestor of the Xiao clan. Thirdly, when dealing with you, there is no need for anyone else to help. Xiao Yan smiled as he looked at Ling Quan, whose face had twitched repeatedly while Xiaoyan spoke. After which, Xiaoyan pulled the little fairy doctor and gently got her to move aside. You. The little fairy doctor's eyebrows were slightly vertical when she felt his tugging. You don't really think that I am unable to deal with someone of this grade, do you? Xiaoyan turned his head, looked at the little fairy doctor, and asked with a smile. The little fairy doctor helplessly shook her head when she heard this. She could only do as he wanted. This person called Ling Quan was someone that she really despised. Xiaoyan Gege, you need not hold back. I will take care of all consequences. Xuan spoke with a faint voice. By being able to get her, someone who possessed a cold and indifferent character, to utter these words, it was obvious to what extent Ling Quan had angered her today. The two black-clothed elders by the side exchanged looks with one another. After which, they let out bitter laughs. They quietly scolded Ling Quan for not being sensible. Did he think he could recklessly act just because he was holding the blood jade token? They could imagine that even if this fellow could successfully return to the Gu clan, his future fate would definitely not be a good one. Xiaoyan smiled. His eyes turned to the surroundings of the courtyard. He cupped his hands together and said, Elder Yi Zhang, this is only some private matters. It does not have anything to do with the Yi clan. Please just leave this place to us for a moment. Mr. Xiaoyan really knows how to joke. Forget about this plot of land. As long as you open your mouth, the old me will not protest even if it is this entire Yi manor. Yi Zhang, who was outside of this courtyard, hurriedly replied with a smile. The Yi clan had been attracted over by the four-winged single-horned beasts in the sky. Moreover, he also understood that those who were related to Xiaoyan were definitely not ordinary people. Most likely, the Yi clan could not afford to offend them. Xiaoyan grinned. His eyes turned to the gloomy-looking Ling Quan and said, Commander Ling Quan, are you planning to fight alone or are you going to do it together? Xiaoyan's eyes drifted over the dozen-plus figures who had followed Ling Quan here as he uttered a question. These people were quite strong. However, the strongest among them had only reached the peak of the Do Huang class, and they were not worthy of his attention. Stop acting arrogant in front of me. I, alone, will be enough to take care of you. Ling Quan savagely smiled. He suddenly clenched his hand and a lightning glow flickered over it. The silver glow extended and transformed into a lightning-long spear. After the formation of the long spear, Ling Quan stomped his foot on the ground and his body rushed into the sky. The long spear in his hand pointed at Xiaoyan from a great distance as he coldly laughed. Today, allow me to see just what qualification you, this trash from the Xiao clan, has to act this arrogantly. Xiaoyan slightly smiled. A murderous intent covered his eyes. His body moved and he was already in the sky the next time he appeared. He grabbed with his hand and the heavy Zan ruler appeared in it. Kai! The coldness in Ling Quan's eyes surged the moment Xiaoyan appeared. The long spear in his hand shook and a bright lightning glow lingered over it. Immediately, the spear shook, transforming into a large bolt of lighting. It moved like a dragon had shot toward Xiaoyan while carrying a thunderous roar. Xiaoyan's eyes calmly looked at the lightning-long spear that rushed over. He did not show the slightest intention of dodging it. A jade-green flame lingered over the heavy ruler as it was hacked down with great force. Clang! The heavy ruler was accompanied by a jade-green flame as it ruthlessly cut through the air. After which, it collided with the thunderbolt-like dragon. Sparks shot in all directions. The two figures were shaken until they took repeated steps back the moment they collided. At the same time, Ling Quan's expression vaguely changed. The powerful force that was transmitted through his spear had caused his palm to feel a little numb. Brat, you really have quite a great brute strength. Ling Quan furiously laughed. His body moved and an afterimage remained in the original spot. The next time he appeared, he was already a short distance in front of Xiaoyan. He swung the lightning spear, and it appeared like a randomly dancing silver snake as it trickily pierced toward all the fatal spots on Xiaoyan's body. Lightning snake dance. Chi chi chi. Numerous spear afterimages surfaced in the air. However, Xiaoyan's body turned illusionary at this moment. He occasionally shifted and narrowly dodged all of Ling Quan's sharp spear techniques. A chill flashed across Ling Quan's eyes when he saw that Xiaoyan's agility was so mysterious. His palm abruptly smashed into the spear handle. This suddenly explosive force caused the lightning spear to shoot out like a crossbow. Even the space itself was torn along the way, forming a dark black fissure. Kai, the long spear shot out at a lightning-like speed. However, a fire hand rushed out just when it was about to strike Xiaoyan's chest. This fire hand forcefully grabbed the body of the spear and stopped its forward momentum. Xiaoyan abruptly clenched his hand and the long spear was snapped apart. It transformed into a countless number of silver snakes, which finally turned into nothingness as the flame rose. Fancy spear techniques are completely useless. A cold smile surfaced on Xiaoyan's face as he destroyed Ling Quan's long spear. The spear technique might be fast, but under the cover of Xiaoyan's spiritual strength, all of it was completely useless. Ling Quan's expression finally revealed a drastic change for the first time after the long spear was destroyed. Ling Qian's body rushed back. At the same time, both of his hands formed some seals with lightning-like speed. They were hand seals that Xiaoyan was extremely familiar with. It was the God Seal skill. Skyfire 3 Mysterious Change, First Change. Xiaoyan coldly laughed in his heart. With his current strength, using the Skyfire 3 Mysterious Change was something he could accomplish almost instantly. He had already mastered this first change to the point of complete mastery. After letting out the cold cry, Xiaoyan's aura suddenly soared. It reached a level that was equivalent to Ling Quan's strength. His body moved as a silver glow flashed. After which, he appeared in front of Ling Quan in a ghost-like manner. A frosty expression flashed across his dark black eyes. Open Mountain Seal. Xiaoyan's speed caused Ling Quan's heart to be shaken. Ling Quan's hand seal was swiftly completed, and it was immediately thrown forward. Let's see just how you will open the mountain. Xiaoyan's firm punch, void of any fancy moves, ruthlessly smashed into Ling Quan's hand just as it was just thrown forward. A jade-green flame surged out at this moment. Xiaoyan could not be more familiar with this open mountain seal. He clearly knew about the point it released its strength and some of its weakness. This punch also made contact with the point on Ling Quan's palm where the strength would be scattered the most. Bang! A flame shot throughout the sky and a slight cracking sound appeared on Ling Quan's wrist. His forehead was instantly covered in cold perspiration. However, Ling Quan's mental strength could be considered quite good. His feet swiftly stepped back after having been ruthlessly counterattacked by Xiaoyan. Additionally, one of his hands had once again formed some seals, yet before the seals could be completely formed, a fire hand appeared out of nowhere and firmly grabbed his hand. Your spear technique is fanciful, your seals are formed too slowly, and your dou qi is thin. You are far lousier than my expectations. How disappointing. I shall give you a one-word evaluation. Xiaoyan's hand firmly grabbed Ling Qian's palm as he slowly shook his head. His eyes contained some pity as he looked at Ling Qian's pale face. Weak.